Reckless talk. Son of a Justin. Hey, reckless talk. But I got expensive habits. Don't step in salt.
Okay, morning everybody. Don from Kenya Goodness TV, and I'm here with Kwame. Kwame, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a great weekend, especially for Arsenal fans. We made history. Yeah, so I think the week will be a good one for Gunners.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, just like you're saying, but it's been a very, very good weekend by the Arsenal players. We're basically here to do a weekend recap. There are a couple of games that happened over the weekend. But one of the most interesting games that happened before the international break, and I think this was the last game that actually happened, Man City versus Arsenal, one of the most interesting games that was played. Of course, we have Man United, which is also very interesting. McTominay, Mikiti scoring by the last 2 minutes. Then there was Chelsea, who actually now picking up form. They beat Burnley 4-1. But anyway, we can't really judge much because it's only Burnley. Apparently, Burnley, but this is a team that just came off championship. So, amekuwa kipigwa sana. So basically, there are a couple of interesting games. But now let's start with the Man U, with the Man City versus Arsenal game. First of all, man, I think you saw how we celebrated here. We did some crazy dances. It was really one interesting games. And I specifically remember it was one of those test games. The whole time by that tulikuwa tunazusha tu, yani we're just throwing tantrums.
Ni kweli.
No, look at that.
Ni kweli.
What is that?
Tutafungwa hapo alafu tutasema nini?
That is the same thing will happen Maze versus Nini versus Lons. Bana, kick the ball, bana.
He's trying to change the whole team, man. Anajaribu nini? What is he trying to do?
And it was a very intense game, but somehow the three subs managed by to unlock Man City's defense. That is Tomiyasu and Kai Havertz, which is very surprising, and Thomas Partey. So anyway, without any further ado, give me your thoughts, Maze. What did you make of it? The Man City versus Arsenal game, as an Arsenal fan.
I think when you listen to all pundits and when you look at it with with your mind, without the emotions, the boys are becoming men slowly.
For sure.
There was a mental shift that we had to go through because these people have crushed us for 8 years since 2015. I remember during our whatever, I was so excited. I said 12 years, but it's actually 8 years. So yes, we've made history. I think our build up or rebuilding Arsenal has moved faster than anticipated. Because these kids' average age they're very young kids. For them to play consistently, I mean, Saliba is a child, 21, playing like a 28, 27-year-old man. I think
imagine
that's a big thing. And so I think we are closing the gap. Man City is still Man City. They're the best in the world. But in terms of just breaking the curse of losing to them periodically, that mental edge, the bullying and everything, they've always bullied us. And so I think we are grown men. I mean, if you looked at the XG of Haaland, he had 0 shot on target, 0. Haaland.
Completely.
Alvarez had to be subbed. My brother. Did you hear that clear? So I know it was a game of chess. Like Guardiola and Mikel Arteta sort of like cancelled each other out to a point where we almost believed that Man City were okay from the 60th minute. They were okay with that draw.
Yeah,
Mikel Arteta had outwitted him. And so when you look at it from a technical perspective, ideally, a purist can say that game was supposed to end as a draw. But because of our initiative, remember, there were 2 yellow cards that this guy Kovacic got, which by normal refereeing rules were clear red. Was a clear red. 2 yellows, and 2 yellows is a red, which means
hold on. By the way, let me just ask. Actually, that's an interesting point, but to actually talk about. Let me get this straight. Kovacic, he had 2 yellow cards. He was given 2 yellow cards. I mean, he was supposed to.
He was supposed to get a second yellow. The VAR, It was shown on video clearly he did not touch the ball. He went for the leg. If it was an Arsenal player, chances are we would have gotten the card. But when you notice sometimes these referees are biased when it comes to Man United, Man City.
Yeah.
Because a yellow card is a yellow card. If it's your second yellow, there were a few that he went and checked. The second yellow card was clear. The video was clear. So now, if we won, somebody was saying, one, they are going for the legs of our top wingers and attackers. So while we might say we still won, but what is the purpose of returning Martinelli back to injury? They need to protect our players. Yeah, they really need to protect our players, because that's something we are looking past it because we won. But if we won with 10 men, they would have said, "Oh, they beat us because we were 10 men." But a yellow is a yellow. And they keep on kicking Kaka, they keep on kicking Martinelli, but surprisingly, when Arsenal does the same thing, it's a straight yellow. But when it comes to any other team, it's crazy. It's crazy. So if you listen to the pundits and if you look at the VAR videos, it was a clear, in fact, dangerous tackle. It was a yellow, 2 yellows, clear red, and would have beaten them with a bigger margin. And if at all we are being objective, we are the ones who pressured them to make mistakes. It was no fluke.
Hold on.
Yes. So it's annoying that Arsenal, there are special rules for Arsenal. Our players keep getting kicked, and then people don't get punished. Yet for us, they're so quick to give us yellow cards, So so if we won them with 10 men, they'd say, "Oh, we lost because we were 10 men." But the reason why they were just surviving is because we put so much pressure on them. Imagine Haaland, and even Man City, for the first time, they had the fewest shot on target for years. The fewest, based on the fewest shots on target. Like they were basically surviving, So to eliminate, to nullify Haaland, to nullify Alvarez, that's a big deal. So so based on how the game was, the game would have ended as a draw, but I think we deserved our luck because we were sort of like dominant because we didn't allow them any space to do whatever they wanted. So for me, I think just from a psychological perspective, I think this is the start of bigger things. Now we'll stop fearing. It's like what we had with Man United in the past. Until we beat them, and now we are no longer afraid of them. So I think Man City was the last team for us to beat, so that we can now pick up the dominance. And for all Arsenal fans who are real, I think let's sell Eddie in January. I think he's been a good boy. But if we can sell Leno, and I loved Leno, if you can sell Holding, and I loved Holding, then we can sell Eddie. Then we can totally dominate. And for me, I would say if we can spend £105 million on
Declan Rice,
who was my man of the match. Then we need to spend even £150 million for a world-class striker like Osimhen, right? Let us not buy. I know people are talking about Ivan Toney, but I've noticed these guys, when they come to a top club because of the pressure, they don't perform. Especially Arsenal. The pressure is too high. It's a big club. Let's just get an Aguero type. I don't care if we spend £160 million, but I believe you saw what Zinchenko and Jesus did to our team. 2 people changed our whole mentality. So I feel like when we get a killer striker, Arsenal had a chance to sign Abramovich. it went. We had a chance to sign Ronaldo, it went.
Yeah.
That small club, that an ambitious nature of the past is no longer there. If we've spent all this money, I think we just need to close our eyes and buy a proper striker. And I think that's the beginning of us challenging now in the Champions League. And I think that's the only missing link. Because even in Lens, it's our wasted chances. That is, when you look at our XG, we create the most chances. Then, of course, we have mistakes. When people like Rice are not there, there are 1 or 2 mistakes that cost goals. But when you look at, we are conceding fewer goals, but we are wasting so many chances. So I think Nketiah has been with Arsenal for too long for us to say he's still getting chances. Let's sell him. The mistake Arsenal has been doing, if you ask me, when we had a chance to sell, who was this person who was in Nketiah? Maitland-Niles. Somebody offered us £25 million. Then you're like, oh, let him stay another season. Let's give him a new contract just because he had a good time. Then we couldn't sell him for anything. So right now, if we can sell Nketiah in January for good money, let's take the money. We don't want a situation like this other Ivory Coast guy, Pepe.
Nicolas Pepe.
We delay selling a person, and then now we can't sell him. And because Arsenal is a big club, our salaries are bigger than most clubs. So when people hear what are you paying him, we can't afford. So now we have to run down their contracts. And I think Eddie is the only person. Now we raised the salary to £100,000. Which team in the Premier League is going to pay Eddie £100,000? There's no team. So back to Arsenal. I think records have been broken. I think now we are going to see a new Arsenal. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, you said quite a number of things, but first thing I picked, the VAR system, but there's a lot of inconsistencies with the VAR system. And it even beats the purpose of actually even having it in the first place. Because that's the whole idea of technology. Technology is supposed to, help human error and actually improve on people's way of looking at things. But it's not helping. Because clearly, what you said about that red card, that guy, honestly speaking, deserved. He honestly deserved the second yellow. But it's Arsenal, and some of these things, by the way, these guys tend to, just look past them. The second thing you also said was Eddie Nketiah. So, the thing is this: people actually talking about us getting Ivan Toney. But remember, if you get Ivan Toney, this guy has not been. Has he had any game time of late? No. Right?
Just training, but hasn't had proper game time.
Exactly. So he's
just
been training.
I've seen him play for the team B of Brentford, just they're playing behind the scenes practice.
Exactly.
No game time.
So
he has been banned.
Yeah, he's been banned because of the he was the what do you call the betting policies. These players are actually not allowed to bet. I actually think this thing needs to be brought to Kenya by the base, because some of these Kenya Premier League games, that's the reason why even most guys don't even support these clubs, because why would you be so attached to a club, yet these guys, some of these players, there's a lot of match fixing that goes on. These players actually bet. So it's a whole conflict of interest that the Kenya Premier League needs to look into. So back to now Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney, as much as by the way, so many guys want him, even be a bit skeptical towards having him, because remember when you get to January, we're now heading towards the end business of
the business end of things,
of the Premier League. So getting this game in January will be a risk, because remember he hasn't have enough game time, so he's definitely going to be rusty. So bringing him on board definitely is going to be, it's a risk. So getting someone like Osimhen would be a great deal. But Eddie has he's done his part, he's made his contributions, the time, he's played well. The only problem is he's not consistent. He's not consistent. So we don't need such kind of a person. We need to have a striker who has a killer instinct. You get the ball.
Yeah, he has a few bad days. A few bad days, but generally super. That's what we can say about Saliba. That's how you know a great player. Saliba has a few bad minutes, or a bad day, but he has 80-90% good days. That's what we need about a striker, so that we know today is having an off day. But with Eddie, it's a mixed bag. It's there's nothing exciting there.
Yeah, and clearly, where we're heading, we don't want that. I think we need the right employees to get the job done. In simple terms, that's the way I put it. By the way, to for
it's ruthless.
For
To be Guardiola is ruthless. Mikel Arteta learned from Pep. We just have to be ruthless, just like Raya is in there.
That's the thing. Let me tell you one thing. People forget that this is this is a job that you're given. So it's either you can get the job done or not. If you can get the job done, they definitely find a replacement for you to get the job done. Because what's the point of having employees who actually cannot execute according to the standards? It doesn't make sense. Just as simple as that. Yeah. So there's no attachment. What people need to realize, the problem we fans usually get so attached. We usually get so attached, with these players, and the guys who like it. But this is a cooperation, banner. It's either you know what you're doing or you don't.
Good boys finish last.
Exactly. Good guys always finish last. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So Spurs, which is quite interesting because we are tied on points, we are tied on goal difference, we are all the same. And apparently the only team that haven't in the Premier League so far, we're the only team that is Spurs and Arsenal are the only teams that are unbeaten. But anyway, we'll get to the table later on. Now we move to another interesting game, the Manchester United game. Did you watch the game? I think you watched. I watched
the highlights. I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched the highlights.
Okay. Yeah. So I watched that game, by the way. So let me just say this. There's one United friend was telling me that he watched the video that was celebrating and dancing around. Then he was like, when you guys, you're all excited. What's wrong with Arsenal fans? You get so excited as if you've won the Premier League or you won the Champions League. Then I was like, listen, you guys actually envious of us. You guys are supposed to be copying our template, So this guy was telling me that we celebrated so much. But then I'm asking myself, did you see the way Manchester United fans celebrated the win over Brentford? Brentford.
It's laughable. Yeah? It's laughable. I think they're having a PTSD, when they are used to winning and they used to be the ones crying. Arsenal used to be the team crying. And so now, it's strange anxiety. Like they're asking themselves, what is happening? I'm not used to this situation, So it's hard. I think we need to pray a lot for Man United. They're going through a lot of pressure and stress, and I think I can provide some shirts for people who want to move to Arsenal, and they need counseling, free counseling. I have a few friends who are helping people go through struggles, so. For me, I can't insult anyone. All I can just say is, they can come to our comment section and we can give them a little bit of, comfort. Just tell them it will be fine. So, for that fan, just tell him, look, just give him my inbox for YouTube, and I'll just comfort him. There's no need to bash him. So tell him we are very sorry for Man United fans. It's a bad season for them, and it will be fine.
It's been like that. It's been like that forever. Well, anyway, the thing is this: what people don't, me personally, but there's banter aside, but they have a lot of respect, but for my Manchester United. That's a club that has some very rich history. In fact, here in Africa, what people don't know, here in Africa, the club that actually made the Premier League become so big was Manchester United and Arsenal. That was during Wenger's time. And Fergie's time. Those are the guys who actually made the Premier League to be so popular here in Africa. That rivalry, by the way. So I have so much respect by the banter side. I'm just being realistic. And the thing about Man U fans is, of course, they're going through a rough moment. I think all us, even we've been there, but we were humble and we kept our club accountable. So you see, the problem with these guys, they need to first of all allude to the fact and accept that things are not really.
They're in transition. The truth is, they're in transition. They're just being like children, a child throwing toys off a pram. Throw it out of the pram. Then the mom is like, baby, here's the toy. Then he throws the toy. Because at the end of the day, even Pep, how long has it taken to win the Champions League?
It's been long.
Been long. I mean, you can't buy the cup. You can't buy the cup. You have to go through the transition. The squad has to take time to gel, to trust each other, to learn to play with each other, to build the mental strength. So I think as fans, we are very fickle. I think we need to also grow up. If you're a pure fan, whether Man United, Chelsea, or whatever, Chelsea is in transition. Man United is in transition. Even Liverpool, when
Sadio Mane.
What was that? Sadio Mane left, and some of the spine of the team left. That other Brazilian guy, forgotten his name. Who used to score Arsenal a lot. When they left the team, the soul of the team disappeared a bit. It takes time to find the leaders, or to grow the team spirit. So now is when Liverpool is slowly getting back to where they were, because these new players needed to trust each other. So I think as players, it's as easy for us to sit here in our houses and criticize, the players. Yet if you are given just 5 minutes in a Premier League game, you will shrink with the crowd, with the TV, with everything. I mean, these people, they are super achievers. Even just to play in the Premier League is a huge achievement, whether you are top 5, top 10, So I think we can be a bit fickle. We can register disappointment. We can, have this kind of sober discussions. But I think as players, we have been spoiled. The era of dominating and scoring 5-0 and having a stretch of 10 wins, it's unheard of. Now all Premier League teams have a share of the commercial money that comes from Premier League. They have technical benches that are good, all of them are run professionally.
That is the thing.
Look at Brighton,
that is the reason why.
Look at Brentford. Look at all these teams. They are all run very well professionally. So don't think Brentford are there sitting and taking cake and ice cream and hoping to run for 90 minutes. All the teams train hard. All the teams try to outfox one another. So I think as fans, let us be realistic. This thing of you get a new coach and you want them to win the Champions League immediately or win the league immediately. It's not realistic. Even Man City have taken years to win this Champions League. So we just need to be mature as fans.
And actually, what you say, but that is what actually makes the Premier League to be interesting, because they the financial rules, and they somehow distribute finances fairly. That's the reason. That's if you go to La Liga, if you go to Serie A, all these other leagues, it's always like two teams dominating. But the Premier League,
which is
so
boring.
competitive, which is so boring. The Premier League is so competitive because the money is distributed, by the way, in a fair way. And, that is what actually makes the Premier League interesting. So for Man U, you said Man U is actually in transition. I feel like it's not even a coach transition kind of phase. It's more of like where Man U is right now. The way it's just managed, I have a feeling, because we follow football, but then we watch a lot of these things. We see them on TV. I think basically the way the club is managed right now, with the current owners they have, I don't see them actually, by the way. It's a problem. It's a very, very, very big problem. So I think once they sort that out,
things will be better. Because I believe if they had a director of football and people playing different roles, this issue of Sancho and the coach would not happen. I believe in Ten Hag. He's an old school disciplinarian, and we need more discipline. Of course, we've seen in discipline what it has done. Pogba, his star has just dimmed because he doesn't have discipline. And Sancho also, once he started getting a lot of money and no discipline, and all these kids who are young getting a lot of money and nobody can tell them anything. I think before they used to look up in the same team with the superstars, but they were getting very small salaries until they mature. So I think now, because of competition and so many clubs have the money to pay youths a lot of money, so they are no longer earning their stripes. Like some, you just show a good season, all of a sudden, you're to keep you. They want to extend your contract. They have to add your salary, and now the players know how to put pressure on the club by using their agents. So it's a whole other discussion about the influence of agents on players and signing and the pressure to keep. Because nowadays, if you don't, and that's what we got hurt during Wenger's time, We did not manage the contracts well, and so we did not do succession planning, and so they were offered better salaries, and we could not match, and we were caught off guard because of the contractual situations and the pressure by the agents. And so now it's different. At least now we have somebody managing. I can't remember his name, but they hired somebody whose work is to manage contracts, manage player negotiations, and he does it so well, such that now, if you've seen, Arsenal has already signed all our top players. They have extended their contracts. So now we don't need to have pressure. You see, so
that is Edu. I think his name is Edu. Edu is the one who actually is in charge of all these, negotiations and buying players and the contracts. He's actually done a very good job, very, very good job. But anyway, we are moving away from that now. Manchester United actually, by the way, they beat Brentford 2-1. That was actually towards the it was so interesting. McTominay actually scored by the. Let me just looking at this. He actually scored in extra time, so they're actually very lucky, very, very, very lucky. But that's with Manchester United. Now moving on to Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea actually they beat Burnley 4. Same time Manchester United games or
I'm surprised about Burnley because I expected them because they were shocking and rocking the league. That's
the Championship League.
Championship League. They were doing so well, but now they are struggling. Really, the Premier League must be very hard.
I'm telling you, they're struggling. And with the coach they have, Vincent Kompany. I expect more from him. But I think, listen, it's just like getting a new student there, or basically getting a new employee by the in a workplace. I think they're basically in the transition phase. They're definitely in the transitional phase. So these guys are just being hammered left, right, and center. Every team, by the way, that comes across it, hammers it. So I just because I have a lot of respect by the for Vincent Kompany. He's one of the players that I really admired by the time I was at Man City. His leadership quality, the way his personality, he had a very, very Vincent Kompany was one of those strong personalities that I ever saw. The time he was playing with Man City.
I remember he scored a last-minute goal to win the Premier League. One of those very important games.
So I would hate to see Burnley being relegated. That's a team that I definitely want to. I'd want Burnley by the to be in the Premier League. But currently the way they are, Chelsea out of all the teams by the way beat Burnley 4-1.
But Chelsea don't write them off. Don't write off Chelsea. Chelsea is in transition. Christopher Nkunku was injured. They had the same problem we had with what is his name? Timberlake. Justin Timberland. Jurgen Timber. So I mean, Nkunku was scoring during the preseason, and so their main striker disappeared. So they would have been having Christopher Nkunku and Jackson, and then all these other young talents. So I think for Chelsea, don't write them off just yet. They have the best on paper. They bought the best young players. It's just that they're on a period of transition. And I'm seeing Nkunku is doing well in his recovery bed. So don't write off. I think Chelsea is going to be a spoiler towards the end. They won't win the league, but they're going to spoil a few games for people because I think with the coach they have, he has also very good history with young players. So he just needs time. So I think just like Brighton, I think Chelsea is going to be a spoiler for a lot of people. It's going to be close now. I don't think Man City will run with it. I think everybody, including Arsenal, will drop a few games. That one I can tell you because Liverpool is in the running, Tottenham is in the running. It's going to be a lot closer, a lot tighter. So the teams that win most of their home games and win away most of the games is the one that is going to win the league. And fewer injuries.
That's actually an interesting analogy because you're right, actually. Chelsea, but these are a team to write off. Like you said, on paper, they have Chelsea are some of the best players right now. I mean, look at what's his name? This guy who came from Brighton. I'm forgetting his name. One of the most expensive players. Caicedo. I think Chelsea, where they are right now, they're like you said, they are more like in a transitional phase. And actually, just to let you know, after the international break, but they'll be facing Chelsea, and I think it's an away game. Will be at Stamford Bridge, so they are picking form slowly but surely. I think they've now won 2 games. A player like Mudryk, actually, but the last game they played, I don't know, I can't remember the game they played last weekend, but won. But they won. And I can't remember, but they won the game. Mudryk actually scored. Mudryk actually, but they had his first score ever since he moved to Chelsea. So with Pochettino, but Pochettino is actually a very good coach. Even if you remember his times at Tottenham, you said it very correctly. He has a he has a history of knowing how to improve players and actually work with the young players. So definitely Chelsea, but that's a team to look up to. They beat Burnley 4-1. Moving to the next one, we move to Tottenham. I watched this game, but I got bored along the way. That was Luton versus Spurs. It was an away game, but then for Spurs beat them 1-0. But remember, if I'm to remember correctly, Bissouma actually, but they got a second yellow card. Just what you're saying, by the way, they're what's his name?
Referees are not consistent.
They're not consistent. That's the thing. They're not really consistent. The yellows. If you look at Kovac, I keep on Kovac. What's his name?
Kovacic.
The same thing he did was the same thing Bissouma did, because I watched the first half of that game. That was the same thing Bissouma did. Got a yellow card for that. So the VR system, these guys need to decide whether they want to,
And then let's look at the big picture. The big picture is this. It's not about Arsenal. You see, when somebody attacks, in fact, he doesn't go for the ball; he goes for the leg. When we lose Martinelli for a whole season, it affects even the viewership of the Premier League, because say we lose Salah, we lose Haaland, we lose Saka, we lose Martinelli. Is it a rugby game? It's not rugby.
Exactly.
So if it's a foul, it's a foul. Don't say, oh, it's because it's Arsenal and you don't like Arsenal, so you're just like, you don't want to affect the game. I think sometimes they give soft ones, but when you see somebody's ignoring the ball and going straight for the leg and the studs are up, I mean, what else does somebody need to do? Martinelli is just from injury. It's just from injury. This person goes for the leg twice.
Let me tell you one thing, by the way. Even if you look at, because this guy, that is the Man City player, the Kovacic guy, he was in a yellow card. Yeah, you remember he was in a yellow card, and he did the same thing, but they against Declan Rice. The confidence. I mean, if you're on a yellow card, but they tend to play safe. Look at the way Jorginho had a yellow card. He played safe. The game we played versus Tottenham, Odegaard was pressing so hard, but then he got a yellow card. Once you get a yellow card, you tend to play safe. But this guy had the confidence. He had the confidence to do the same thing. He just gets to show you. But the Man City, but then knowing he's going to get away with me, trust me. By then I tell you, but the Man City is just. I think the new name that they need to give it is Corrupt FC, because the way those guys, the things they get away with, the things that it's quite unfair. It's very, very, very
because it would have affected our goal difference if, say, we scored them 3-0. It would have affected the goal difference. You see, because are we the same points with Tottenham?
Yeah, we're the same points. Everything, same points, same goal difference.
If we scored more goals, we could have gone up above them. So and our players come out injured because of the same thing, being roughed up. So they need to protect our good players, because they're the ones who make the Premier League the Premier League. When you have Salah, when you have Haaland, when you have Martinelli, when you have Saka, people all over the world are waking up to watch these people. So when you have everybody injured, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So that's the work of a referee. Your work is to protect the players. Your work is to protect the players. Simple as that. If you can't do that, get out. Doesn't mean I mean, now
there should be punishments. There should be punishments for them.
Yeah, there should be
even
punishments.
If it's suspending them. Yeah, because there's no consequence.
Yeah, and it's like they just go away with it scot-free. And it's not like they're now used to it. So
Yes.
these guys, they shouldn't mess up this beautiful game that we actually enjoy. Now we go to the last game, one interesting game that I think I would love us to talk about. I think we watched this game with you partly because I remember that day, but it just happened before the Arsenal game. That is the Brighton versus Liverpool game. They drew 2-2. I remember there's a comment you actually made, by the way, when you saw the scores. I know you're actually quite impressed with the way the game turned out because both teams actually dropped points. Yeah. So anyway, what do you make of it? What do you make of the Liverpool versus Brighton game?
I think there's a team we cannot sleep on, and that's Liverpool, right?
For sure.
They against Fulham. I think they won with 10 men, right?
No, it was Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
So you can imagine Newcastle. We know how tough they are, and Liverpool beat them with 10 men. And I think there are 2 games they have won with one man down.
Yep.
So I think one with Brighton, people are beginning to find out some of their tricks.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing they are beginning to concede some goals. Silly goals. So people are beginning to find out how to press them. So those are the 2 things I found out from that game, that Liverpool is a team to watch. I think they're slowly coming to the team Klopp wants. So we cannot sleep on them. I think they're going to shock a few people this time around with the Nunes and the other guys, Jota. They have a very good team. So that's what I got from the game. I feel like Brighton is Brighton. Their model, the way they are able to coach players and all that. I think the whole world is learning from the Brighton model. So that one, I can't praise them enough. But so Brighton is coming up very well, creating good competition, and Liverpool is the team to watch. I think it's going to be one of the wild cards for the season.
100%, but the Liverpool really can't trade them off. Even looking at the game they played versus Spurs, that was when they were two man down actually. By the way,
yes.
If I'm to remember that game, and clearly they were out. Clearly they were out. In fact, that was one of the conversations by the for the week. Even if you look at the conversation between the referees, talking about these things via the VR system, this VR system
they were
is
robbed.
just
They were robbed.
They were robbed. They clearly, what's his name? Diaz, Luis Diaz. Yeah, was it Luis Diaz? Yeah, he scored, and clearly he was onside. Those guys rushed. They didn't even draw the lines. As much as Spurs actually benefited from that game, I think the VAR system actually favored them. And even
they have selective amnesia and selective use of rules. So
exactly.
I think they need to change that. If the rule says do this, do it.
So simple as that. Draw the lines. Why rush over the whole thing? So that game actually, Liverpool actually, but they would have won the game. The only thing that was actually quite that didn't make sense to me was Klopp's comments. He wanted the game to be to be played again.
Replayed.
To be replayed. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Who does he think he is? Is Liverpool the only team that
because even last season we got robbed? I think 2 games like that because of positions. So I think we just need to have a penalty. The penalty, even if it's not financial, they need to be suspended. When they had a chance to draw the lines, they didn't do it. When they don't follow the rules, then they get suspended for 2 weeks. So next time they'll come back with a bit more, like soberness and fairness. Because I think they should be fair across the board. Of course, we don't want them to keep on giving yellows all over the place. But I mean, somebody has scored. Just draw the lines. If it's clear, it's a goal, give it. Yeah, just draw the lines.
As simple as that. As simple as that. Just let it be fair. Let it be fair to everybody. Anyway, that being said, let me just quickly do the top 6 table right now. So we have Spurs at number 1 with the goal with the goal difference of 10 points, 20. Arsenal goal difference of 10, then points 20. Then you have Man City at number 3. Goal difference of 11, points 18. We have Liverpool, goal difference of 9, points 17. Aston Villa, number 5, goal difference of 7.16. They are tied with Brighton at number 6. Goal difference of 5.16 as well. So, Man U fans, I'm not even seeing you guys here, Bana. I'm not even seeing you guys. You're no longer in the chat, Bana. Anyway, these guys have a long way to go. But Kwame, man, it's been good actually having you here.
It's a good week, man.
Yeah,
it's our week. Let people take us to the police for celebrating. People are so salty.
Call police, yeah, man.
Call police, man. Call police.
Call police, man. Yeah, call police. We don't care. We don't care.
They can take us to court for celebrating.
If you want us, Man U fans, but the Chelsea fans, if you guys want to take us to court for celebrating, call police, call the FBI, call everybody, call LAPD, call Killam, call DCI. We don't care. Anyway, that's basically a weekend wrap up. Kwame, it's been good having you here.
It's been real, man. I know the season is long. We will lose some games.
For sure.
But I know with our squad depth and with Mikel Arteta, I strongly believe he's the right man for the job. This is a competition, so we cannot win everything, all the games. But I think we'll win more games than most of the teams in the league. Man City Man City could be the main threat, probably Liverpool, and some of the ones in the top 4. But I have a very good feeling that we just might shock people and win the league, because normally history has proven for any team that wins the treble, they struggle finding motivation the next season. They struggle. They struggle. So Man City is still Man City. They will not be relegated. They'll not be number 5. But we just might shock the world by just pipping them this time, because this time round we have some bit of depth in the defense. We have Declan Rice. Then we have a chance to strengthen in January. So we just might shock some people. And now, because we've beaten them, now our mind is free. We've broken the record, losing to Everton away, which was normal. Now we don't have anything else to be scared of. We faced all our ghosts. So I think
the next ghost, Kwame, the next ghost battle that we have to face is beating Manchester United at Old Trafford. That's the next ghost.
Oh, we have not done that yet.
We haven't done that for a very long time. So that's the thing. That's a hard we also need to break. But I think so far so good. We stand a high chance of actually winning the Premier League, because remember, in terms of squad depth, even if you look at the way the rotation is being done right now, squad depth plays a very, very, very big role, but in terms of who's going to win the Premier League.
So the quality,
the squad depth is correct, and the quality of the squad as well, the quality of the depth as well is actually also good. So we stand a very high chance of winning the league. If we can just keep some players fit. If you can keep Declan Rice fit, if you can keep Partey fit, then I think we should be good to go. We should be good to go.
Let the good times roll, man. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy, man. I think we are so used to whining during the Wenger era. Fine, we can criticize, but let us not criticize and put down players. Even when I talk about Nketiah, I love the guy, but it's just. If we can bench Ramsdale, who replaced Leno, if you can get rid of Holding, if you can send Tierney was the soul of the team in terms of how he loved Arsenal and everything, but we had to send him out because he couldn't fit into the squad. So who is Nketiah? Who is Nketiah? El Neni has not played, and not because he's a bad person. He's just not good enough for the first 11. So. But he helps with the team in terms of psychology and good vibes. So I think we just need to start thinking like a big club. But as the fans, I think we can push the team to winning the league by how we behave. Let us criticize them a little bit, but when we enter that stadium, let's support the team. So let's not have that attitude when the game is tough. Then the player, the supporters keep quiet. We need to support them when they're having bad days, good days. But I'm very excited for the future of Arsenal right now. I think Josh Kronk has a different attitude to his father. His father, the main Cronky. People have nicknamed him Silent Kronk because he never speaks, he never reacts, he never comes to the games, and so he's been very inactive, and he spent some crazy amount of money to build one of the best stadiums in the world. So if you can do that, why can't you just spend that money and get us a world-class striker? Maybe it's in the plans, I don't know, but
exactly.
He has the money. Yeah.
As Kelechi should say, spend this money now. Spend this money
in my lifetime. I don't want to be watching Arsenal games in heaven, and we are still thinking about buying people. So Kroenke, Josh Kroenke, if you are there, I am an Arsenal fan through and through. I don't want to go to heaven still watching the transfer window from the side of Jesus. I don't want. So please just buy a striker, do something, shock the world. If you can spend £105 million on Declan, spend 160 on the best striker in the world, right? Let us show people who we are. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kwame, man, it's getting late in the night. Let me release you so that thank you for pulling up. Just a couple of things I need from our audience. Just make sure. But they were doing so well. But I think we are now at 495 subs. Huge number of subscribers. So for the days where here, just ensure you smash the subscribe button. Ensure you like our video. Very much. And Kwame, I think I'll be seeing you on the next one. We need to rest. Let's enjoy this 2 weeks break.
No, let's enjoy while we can, man. All we need is to lose one game and everybody's laughing at us. So let's enjoy the 2-week international break. Let Saliba rest. At least I'm happy Saliba has been given the break. He didn't go with the national team. Saka has also been sent back home for rehabilitation. Yeah, so I'm glad. Let's pray for Jesus because he's playing for his national team. So let's just pray that our key players don't get injured during the international break. So good times. Man, looking forward to the next one. And let's keep supporting. And let's go Gunners. And yes, support Kenya Gunners, and let's make this community bigger. And I think we're on the road to winning the Premier League. So you need to join this thing as we're approaching. Don't join us after we've won the league. That would be very, weird. So let's join us now while we are still heading there to Galilee. I mean, to the promised land.
All right, Kwame, man. Let me go rest. I think I'll be seeing you on the next one then, bro.
Okay. Cheers, man. On to the next one.
Cheers. All right.